Today is the day. Just think about that. Today is the day. Today. After all we've been through, after all we waited for, after all oh my God, after everything we've been through, isn't it important? It is just, I cannot believe that it is finally here. And I am so happy. I am so excited. I am so monumentally thrilled over this. Ladies and gentlemen, relax. Today is the day. Sit back and know that but most importantly, President Trump has been involved in and engaged in some of the most incredibly critical and important work ever. He is indefatigable. He is not human. 2:00 in the morning, still going on. And Nancy Pelosi calls him deranged and intellectually and cognitively disheveled. No. Get ready, my friends. We're going to be talking about how you're going to go through the day. And we're going to be here throughout the day into the evening. And we're going to be here celebrating with us, with your friends, with your cohorts, those people who have been with us since the beginning. That's what we are here to do, my friends, today. So here's what we're going to do. And this is important. This is also critical. Make sure that you do a couple of things. First of all, make sure that you are subscribed here to Lionel Nation. Excuse me. Make sure that you are part of this. Make sure that you don't stray. And get ready to relax and enjoy this day. Remember, the 5th of November. And that's what today is. But before we begin, my friends, how about this important and critical word from our sponsor? All right, let's be honest. Society isn't exactly celebrating traditional masculinity these days. Being strong, being a provider, being a leader. These aren't just old-fashioned values. They're part of our DNA as men. But something's working against us. And that's the constant attacks being waged on our testosterone levels. That's right. The core hormone that makes us who we are as men could be getting hit from all angles. Processed foods, environmental toxins, the constant stress of modern life. But here's what recent clinical research has discovered. All those attacks could culminate and arise in your stress hormone called cortisol. That could be blocking your natural testosterone from reaching its potential. Think about it. Your body wants to be strong and vital and powerful, but it's being held back. That's why our friends at Sculpt Nation developed Test Boost. They've created something that works with your body's natural processes using 8 powerful natural ingredients to help you reclaim what's rightfully yours. We're talking about getting back to being the man you're meant to be. Their customers are reporting what real men want: more strength, better performance, improved energy levels. No weak, watered-down solution, just natural ingredients that work. Take back your masculine edge right now. Go to sculptnation.com/Lionel and save up to 51% off your first order. That's sculptnation.com/Lionel. The link in the description section is provided. Go there now. Don't wait. This deal could expire soon, and you've got nothing to lose with their money-back guarantee. One more time, sculptnation.com/Lionel. Imagine this years ago if somebody would have told you that you would have been lectured by Slappy Emhoff about men and straight men and people who show this masculinity by daring and deigning to vote for her. This has not been a race about Trump. This is about a race involving the transformation, the transmogrification of our collective sanity. Think about this, our collective sanity. Jim Robertson, thank you, my friend. Sparky says, remember, never Trumpers, Chris Wray and disgraced intern AG Sally Yates run the old boy network, which controls Georgia politics and elections. I know. So what we should do is get ready. Get ready. You know, this is the problem. Now, I love you, Sparky. I love you. But what are you telling? Don't get too excited. Don't get too excited. I know you're going to get, but don't forget, folks. Hold back that excitement. Oh, no, no, no. Hey, doctor, I'm cancer free. My markers. Oh, no. That means for 5 years. But a lot of people have said, just like you, hey, we're pregnant. Missy and I are going to, wait a minute. A lot of people who have had deformed teratogenic chimeras said, just like you, thought everything was great. And then, that's a good way to look at it. Hey, Mom, Dad, I asked Missy to marry me. 55% of all marriages end in divorce, just like you. They sat and they were happy and they didn't see it coming. They fell apart and then they split in death. You think that's good? Oh, no. Don't think that. No. Oh, no. Oh, no. Hey, guess what? Grandpa turned 80. Well, this is when it goes downhill. Most terminal diseases. Now, I'm not trying to be. I'm not trying to joke about this, but do you think that is because a lot of this has to do with your outlook? I know this to be true. Ready to go on our trip, kids? Yeah. We're back into the station wagon. Yeah. You know, a lot of people who found their lives ruined and cut short, who were killed and burned beyond recognition in a fiery collision, took off just like we are right now. Don't forget, there could be drunk drivers out there, potholes. We could run out of gas and be mauled by vagrant tren de Aragua. I mean, this is what you have to do in life. I'm not saying be pie in the sky. But if you're always looking for, don't be surprised. Oh no, they're not. Oh, the votes they're gonna do something. Why? I know that. Carla, the cooking CEO, says tonight we're hoping for a clear outcome with no unexpected surprises. I'm feeling confident, and I know at least 51% of the nation stands with us. Do not be surprised, Carla, if you get an answer earlier than you think. Do not be surprised. Sparky says your poll invited my comment. Oh, I know. But I do polls sometimes to lure, to see what people say. And if you notice, it's not my poll, it's my choices. I'm telling you right now. There's always a way to see behind every, and I'm not saying you, Sparky, and I thank you, but you know people like this. Sometimes I find myself saying things like, hey, wasn't that great that Joe Rogan? I said, he could have done it before. You knew he was going to do this. You knew he's sitting there across from, Elon Musk and Dana White. You knew he was going to do this thing. What are you waiting for? What about the early voting? Could have gotten the early voting. How many early votes did you? Why are you doing it now? Why now? And so kind of reluctantly and half-heartedly, go ahead and do it. The majority of your people, the vast majority of Trump. So what am I going to do? What are we going to do? Talk about that? Hello. Thanks, Joe. I appreciate it. This has a lot to do with your outlook. This has a lot to do with your way of looking at life, the way you see things, what do you think? What is it that you think this is all about? I'm doing a Trump accordion here. I want you to sit back and laugh at this. And I want you to remember one thing. First and foremost, irrespective, and I'm going to say this one time, nobody's dying here. Let's don't get too wrapped up in put things into perspective. That's all. But here's the bottom line. I want you to imagine that you're, and I always give you this example, you're seated next to a person who is from another planet. And from another planet, this person exists, and this person from another planet is asking you, What is this election process you're going through? And let me explain it. JTE says, I got my $47 check from Elon. Haven't voted yet. Okay, there you go. Did you see where he lost the case? Larry Krasner, the DA of Philly, who doesn't do anything, cares all of a sudden about Elon. We've learned so many things. First, I've learned a lot about human nature. I've learned about how I really feel so good that there are so many people who agree with me and with us. I have met so many great friends, so many people, so much. I don't care about the crazies anymore. I really don't. I swear to you. I'm not interested in the crazies. The crazies don't mean anything. Okay? This is the most important. I have learned so much, so very, 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 very much about everything, about people. I've met I've learned about human nature. I've seen the political spectrum end. The left-right paradigm is dead. You are going to see an elevation of people after this. You are going to feel the repercussions of Trump for years. You are going to feel the repercussions for years. What Trump has done, and I can't say this enough, ladies and gentlemen, is he changed the way all of us think about everything. Can't say it enough. Can't put it into any other way. I've got to say something. First, the left-right paradigm is dead. You know it, and I know it. It's critical, absolutely critical, for us to understand. We are forever throwing that away. Democrats, Republicans, I don't know. Whatever that means. Whatever, I guess. I guess it's important. We don't care about that. It means nothing to us. It means absolutely nothing to us. We live in a world right now which is so fascinating. We live in a world because we have been told that there's this thing called left and right. After this election, it's over with. It's done. It's finished. It's absolutely finished. Isn't it? It's the most incredible thing in the world. I can't put this into, I can't tell you this. That's number one. Number two, we have met people who have come to the fore that we have never met before. Crypto Domini says everyone should pay $1 to register to vote election lottery. Indeed. Raul says, where in New York City will Trump's victory be celebrated? I don't know. I stay away from those. I have no idea. I'm not a crowd person in the least. None. Don't like him. Don't care for that. But I don't know. I don't know. I think Trump's going to be in Mar-a-Lago with his family, whatever. I guess. Last night, 2:00 in the morning, he's still doing it. 2:00 in the morning, he's still doing it. This woman, who barely could get out of bed, was putting together 6-7 minutes. Just doesn't have it. His stamina, his vision. They tried everything in their power. I love the guy. It's just, what do you want to talk about? They had nothing. I don't care what he is. He's a convicted felon. Well, not really. But more importantly, this is the thing that's going to happen. This is still, I don't want to say it's the greatest country in the world. It's the only one I know. When I say great country, I think people like you're making it. The government is the worst. These people are vile, corrupt. It's a conspiracy. It is the most corrupt criminal organization I've ever seen. But Americans, phenomenal. Freedom says nothing less than a landslide for Donald J. Trump tonight is a serious threat to our republic. Let's get it done. You're right about that. But you know what? I'll take a mere victory. I don't care. There's an old expression. You know what they call the guy who comes in last in his medical school class? Doctor. Evan Webb says spring ISD teachers caught using sleepy stickers on elementary school students. This story from Texas. sleepy stickers. We're going to get into that one later. Now, just remember something. The hard part is today, I want to spend the day talking about what's great about our system. We have young friends and folks in the family and friends, and they're saying, look at us. We say, send us pictures of your lives. Look at this. Some people like to vote the day of the election. Some people like to do early, but whatever it is. Show me, show me, show me, show me. Celebrate this. Now, again, we always have to do everything in our power to make sure that we maintain the integrity of the vote, but there's nobody outside with machine guns telling us what we can and can't do. There's nobody out there. We have a free election, believe it or not. And Donald Trump, remember, he came in, Hillary, and then when he stepped down and then came Biden, right or wrong, and then we keep doing this, right or wrong. That's our system. And we're going to survive, but we want to be better. I have learned so much. I have learned two things have happened. And I think, Sparky, you can verify this. Maybe not. But first, I have learned a lesson. I will never, ever, ever, ever judge anybody, a book by its cover. You'll see, I'll say boom, 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 A, F, and F, 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 some rap. Oh no, not some, oh God, look at this with the teeth and the, oh God, and the, oh God. And he goes, vote Trump. Wait a minute. Jim Robertson, ladies and gentlemen. Jim, you are more than kind, my friend. Thank you, sir. How many times have you done this? Mrs. Ellis, I said, who's that? He goes, oh, that's a slimy, dirty bastard, old freaking, that's a Nazi Daz Diddy Wad Diddy Doo-doo. That's doo-doo head brain Maz gas. That's gas MAGA was I don't know who these people, it doesn't matter. I don't care. I can tell them names of country people. They're not gonna know about Furlan Husky, but I do. And so I'm saying, wait a minute. I've learned one thing. No, they're on our side. Come on. I will never, ever look at somebody and say, and we do it sometimes, and I'm sure they do it to you. Look at this guy. All of a sudden, it's cool to say I'm for Trump. I saw more black young men and women, thanks to Elon, thanks to X, it became cool. And once it becomes cool, oh my God, it absolutely, positively, you have no idea. Ryan says, Jim Messina. Oh, no. Oh, no, not Jim Messina. Anyway, Jim Messina told Jen Psaki the early vote numbers are scary for Dems. Pennsylvania, along Democrats are half the number of 2020. Are we to believe these Democratic voters would rather stand in today? Look. Listen, we did this last night, and it was Mark Halpern talking about Jim Messina. Do me a favor. I don't care what Jim Messina says. Listen. I think that's good. That's interesting. That's good. That's good. It's like watching a pool fill up. And somebody's, they put the hose, they go, oh, so far so good. It's like, we just started. Well, that's good news. There's no leaks yet. Okay. Jim Messina said that. Okay. What if Jim Messina said bad? I don't know. I heard Mark Halpern says nothing. Let me ask you something, Ryan. S.E. Mac, let me ask you something. Let me ask S.E. a question. Let me ask Mark a question. Or Ryan. Let me ask Ryan. Where's Ryan? Ryan, let me ask you a question, okay? Do me a favor. I want both of you to go out to the Hudson River, which is right outside our door here, with a glass. I want you to take a sample. What do you see? Is there any fish in the Hudson? Why? Let me look at the glass. Well, what's this? Well, this is a representative sample of the... No, it's not. It's a glass. Are there any fish in here? No, there's not any fish in here. Okay, there's no fish in here, so there's no fish in the Hudson. No. Well, what's this? Well, it's a sample. Well, what kind of a sample is it? I don't know. It's a sample. That's what this is. Sparky says, we lost Quincy Jones. What a great lifetime body of work. Remember when music was important. Quincy Jones was a genius. Back on the Block was one of the greatest songs he did. He said he did it to, I remember when it came out, I got the CD. He did it to be able to comport comply to coexist with his sons. It's a wonderful album. When he did Quincy Jones, when he did The Dude is one of the greatest with Patty Austin. Bet You Wouldn't Hurt Me. Some because you done something special to me. Patty Austin. Oh my God. I could tell you more Quincy Jones riffs and cuts. The man was incredible. And then towards the end, I don't know what happened to him. It was very, very interesting. It was the most fantastic thing I've ever seen. It was incredible. I was watching a thing last night about Eddie Van Halen and watching his mouth transitions. Oh, it's a mouth thing with me. But you're right. Quincy Jones, incredible. Quincy Jones worked with everybody. He worked with everybody from Sinatra to you name it. There was just the proliferation of this man is absolutely without a doubt incredible. Is Jimmy Kimmel in trouble for telling Trump voters to vote late? No, because nobody's going to do anything to him. Crypto says, where can we find the Amish clip from yesterday night? Go on X. I think Elon, listen to me, I call him Elon. I think Elon posted it, and it was wonderful. I don't know. I think I may even, I can't find it. I don't want to go into the clips, but it was, God bless the Amish. You have no idea. I've never been to the Amish country. Never been. But I want to say, I dig you. You wear the thing. They don't wear buttons because it reminds them, or it is symbolic of their own peonage, their own constriction, their own, incarceration and the like. They have this thing they do because they just want to do it, which I find so incredibly wonderful. And they basically tell the rest of the world, we don't really care what you think, and we're going to do whatever we want. I think that's, you have no idea. Years ago, I love people who do their own thing. There was this, I'll never forget one time, I forget where it was, but I wanted to walk up. I couldn't do it. There was this young girl, she's dressed as Goth. Remember Goth? She had a white face, but she looked like Morticia Adams, and she's got her black hair. And I wanted to say, I really dig this. God bless you. You look like you're a necromancer, but nonetheless, here you are exhibiting something that is truly unique to you. I love that. Ryan says, if GOP takes the White House in both chambers, what should Trump get done first? Well, listen, do me a favor. We're going to do a few things here. Number one, if you want to go that far, I'll tell you. Number one, Mrs. L brought this up, and she's so smart. She's so smart. The first rule from the White House, everybody says, if anybody on my staff ever mentions The View again, Joy Behar, gives them any publicity, you're fired. We all have to 1 year say we are not going to ever mention, look at this, 2020. We're not going to mention ever again, ever, The View. Ever. We're also never going to mention the name of somebody who is a serial killer or a shooter or one of those. Never. And I want the president to go in and say, I'm not going to tell you what I'm doing. All of a sudden, you're going to find out. You're going to find out by my actions. I'm not going to say anything ahead of time. Kim Griffith says, Pinellas County, Florida, 63% turnout so far. Republicans plus 20,000. Pinellas County. Oh, yeah. St. Pete, Clearwater, Pinellas. That's a whole bit. Right across the bay. Pinellas County. They go right into, you can take the Causeway, take the Gandy, take the Howard Franklin, just going over there. Yep. Then 275 south, go into my own neck of the woods. South St. Pete, Stetson, Don Cesar, Ted Peters, that south part. Incredible. Look, and also another thing, I want you to tell me what you've learned. Sparky says Amish don't wear mustaches because mustaches were a requirement formal or informal, for most soldiers. Before gas masks were common, Amish are peaceniks. I love them. You know, Sparky, let me tell you what else I found out. I have found myself this year transformationally changing my opinion. I'm going to rephrase it. Perhaps maybe solidifying an opinion regarding the Middle East. And I want to say this, there are some things I don't particularly care about. Basque separatists. I know I should care about the Uyghurs. When I say don't care, I don't follow. I just say, well, I wish you the best. And you know, the Middle East, I thought, you know, Palestinian, okay. And it was bad before I thought, but you know, I have never, the world has said, wait a minute. What happened? The facts changed. And listen to me, Sparky. Not only am I saying, whoa, wait a minute, hold it. This is different than anything we've ever seen. It's like, imagine taking the Uyghurs and then finding out China was dropping bombs on them. It's a different story. It's like, yes, there was oppression, but this is something else. What I've also found out this year is that people, I don't want to mention their names, well, some I will. And I think, Sparko, you and others and porch sitters will let me know. By the way, porch sitters last night brought up the Amish. Look at this. I love this one. Porch sitter says, there is nothing wrong with the Appalachian culture, Leslie. In fact, have you seen on YouTube Appalachian canning, making shoe fly pie? I love that. You know what I love? You're gonna love this one. I think our friend Porch Sitter may get that. We used to have every year the Florida State Fair. And the rides, I just liked the smell, the atmosphere, the danger. At one point, it was like downtown Tampa. It was really dangerous when I was a kid. Well, I shouldn't say dangerous. But they have a thing called Cracker Country. And it was these women who dressed in hoop skirts, because in Florida crackers were people who cracked the whip, and they were homesteaders and everything. But they would have canning and blueberries. And then we have the strawberry festival in Plant City, where they have this church that does strawberry shortcake and all that. I love to see frontier cooking, how they use beef tallow or lard, just how they, incredible. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Forgive me. Sometimes you'll say something. Oh, look at this. Love pickled pig's feet. Loved when I ate, meat. Loved pig's feet. Loved them. Oh my God, with the little bones and fatty. Oh, it's wonderful. I've never, ever lost my love of meat. Never. Oh, I love it. But that's a different story. But Sparky, what I was saying was, I'm finding that all of a sudden there were people who came years ago who were these folks. Judge Napolitano, tremendous respect for him. My friend Gerald Celente, Scott Ritter, Jeffrey Sachs, Alistair Crook, the great John Mearsheimer, the great Douglas McGregor. They would be in my cabinet, 100%. I don't know if they would do it. Absolutely. And then all of a sudden, Amy Goodman. I'm not going to mention some other ones who have the most absolute Neanderthal of opinions regarding Trump. But yet, when it comes to peace, when it comes to stopping absolute horrors, I'm on their side 100%. So this is like this is like a red pill. It's almost like, remember when you had contacts? Remember the contact pills? Hippies used to take all the red ones out because that was belladonna, and they were supposedly reconfigure these contact pills. This is the story. I don't have time for that stuff. But anyway, this is like my mini red pill moment. I'm seeing right now people, young people in the minute who are saying now I like Trump. Now you mean Republicans? What are they? I don't know. I like Trump. Trump brought people to the dance. It's like when somebody likes some music and you say, you know what, that's jazz, right? That is. Is that what that's called? I just like it. Well, you like jazz? I don't know about jazz, but I like this. Oh, so you like jazz? Quit calling it jazz. People love to give it a label. And then there are people say, well, that's really not jazz. That's more hip, and they do this. The thing is, it doesn't matter. I told you over the weekend, we met a wonderful woman who was our new best friend from Chinese born. And she says, everybody vote Trump. Everybody. I said, okay. Everything she sounds like just, life and death. You vote. It sounds like Louis Pinay, you go now, you vote Trump. I said, I know, Trump. Then there was the Dominicans, Trump. You know who's really for Trump? You ready for this? Dare I say, the wise guys, the boys downtown. Everybody. Hipsters, rappers, wise guys, Chinese, Christians, gays, the gay, especially more mature gays. It's what Trump stands for, but also there's a concomitant rejection of these lunatics. This is critical. And during the not during the Southern experiment, but there was a time which is very, very critical where people recognize that in order for the party to grow, you needed to bring in new people, and that was critical. Let me stop for a second, my friend, and remind you of something and I'm going to keep telling you this until everybody is completely ready to go and food sufficient. If you have not gone to preparedwithlionel.com and said, okay, water filtration, generator, energy, food, emergency food. Maybe you can do vegetarian, you can do vegan, you can do whatever you want. You pick it. They don't say, here it is, take it. I don't like banana chips. Take it. It's life and death. The variety will blow your mind. In these beautifully stacked, perfectly geometrically modular buckets, waterproof, with replacement in the event of a disaster, if they're destroyed. These people have been in this they are the best. Now, you can go some places, I'm not going to mention where, you can go to some place and go, hey, we have some disaster. No. They're okay. MREs, those are good. I'm not trying to blaspheme. We're not talking about something for the long haul, reusable with oxygen barriers and 25 years shelf life. This is for like nuclear. Preparedwithlionel.com. You know what to do. And one more thing, and I want to say this right now. Mike Lindell from MyPillow.com has been with President Trump and has caught more grief than they tried to destroy him. And MyPillow.com is bigger and badder and better than ever. They are simply wonderful, marvelous. Go right now. Do what I'm saying to MyPillow.com. Look at the stuff that's available. It will blow your mind. I don't know if you've ever seen the varieties, classic collections. My bolsters. If I didn't have my bolsters, I'm done. I can't sleep. This is like fine tuning sleeping. Slippers, sandals and slippers, everything you can imagine. And on this day, what better way to thank and to celebrate Mike Lindell than going to MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. I'm dead serious. I am such a different person. I can't even believe. I don't even know where to start. I don't know where to start. Sparky says, Worth reiterating, Israel has killed more Americans than Iran. 34 in the USS Liberty alone. Absolutely. There was a wonderful, I knew her years ago. Never really met her, but we were kind of through. She was on CNN. Her name was Rudy Bakhtiar. Is Iranian, and spoke of these wonderful people. And we have this idea that women are pulled out and the morality police and the women are beaten. Okay. I can't say it hasn't. There hasn't. But thanks to the beauty of YouTube, you can say, well, here's a street in Tehran. And people are walking down the street posing and they're not wearing head covering. Do you remember during the whole Russian thing? Russia was bad. There was this guy, this husband and wife. It was one of the best. It was during the times of Gonzalo Lira, bless his heart, whom we will never forget. But there was this couple, and his English, it was beautiful the way he did it. He said, "Hello, this is Leonid and my wife Ludmila. I want to show you this is our grocery store. Look, dates, raisins." And he goes into this beautiful store, and there's people walking around. "You say we don't have food. This is one. Let's go to another place." And he drives to another place, and it's a store. And I love stores. I love it. I love to go to, especially new chains. Let me tell you something. I saw on the West Coast, I think it was a Kroger Super 2 or whatever. Oh my God, I could live there. But anyway, my point is the reality they give you about the way the Russians, they're dour and they don't have it. What are you talking about? We don't know anything. And the information barrier, thanks to Elon Musk, if everybody saw, and I think Sparky can agree with me, if people saw what's happening in the middle, we'll call it the Middle East because people feel better. They don't even want to say Israel. They don't even want to say it. That's fine. If you saw what was happening to Palestinians, you would be disgusted. You would say, that's enough. That's enough. That's enough. And they always will focus on somebody slapping around some Jewish student. It's despicable. It has nothing to do with this. It has nothing to do with this. Remember during Vietnam, people say stop bombing. Then the remember when the POWs came back? I wore a guy's brace. I was in the 7th grade, I think. He got back. He came back. He was a general. I think he was an Air Force general. He wrote me a letter. I'm back. Thank you very much. I used to wear his name every day. We were like, hip, 12 years old. And we would say, My Lai, the hell with My Lai. What about this guy? Look at these brave men coming off the plane, limping. He said, they were bombing those people. Yeah, but we were bombing them. You see how everything is relative? You see how this is? It's incredible. And I want you to know this. And the only way we're ever going to advance, and this is what Trump taught me, is to remove this left-right paradigm. Think individually. Don't think as a Republican. Don't think as an American. Look at this and ask yourself, is this right or wrong? That's it. That's it. Let me tell you something right now, which I cannot believe. I cannot believe how this upsets me. Not the act itself, but Peanut. The fact that more people investigated that little squirrel than that other guy with the island. Think about that. What's the matter with us? What is the matter with us? I've never seen anything like it. I don't understand it. And it's not about a squirrel. Honey, what about Fred? Nobody cares about Fred, the raccoon. What is he, chopped liver? This goes to show you the excesses. Remember the story regarding the Arab Spring? It was in Tunisia. There was a fruit seller, fruit monger, if there is such a thing. He set himself afire. He set himself aflame because they came and they told him you have to move and you can't do this and you can't do that. And he said, wait a minute. No, you can't. It blows my mind. You how do I say this? It was representative of a symbol. Rosa Parks on a bus was, people said, enough. That's Trump brought to us the idea that I don't care if you're black or if you're a Democrat. I don't care what you used to be. I don't care about your music. Come on. Think about all of the rallies this man had. When you have everybody you can imagine. Everybody. This is the man who supposedly hates people. There was no Kamala rally. She talked one time, they said, for 7 minutes. Did you see the other day the story? Did you see this, honey, where they had her prompter stuck? And she was saying, move forward. And the prompter person didn't understand. He was going back because he thought she was stuck. She was trying to give him the signal, move forward, like the prompter. And he kept going back. He goes, move forward. All right, with a move forward. And she was an imbecile. Big John says, Lionel, we have been at war our entire lives. 2 words to the warmongers. Stop it. Absolutely. Absolutely. I would not last. I would be the worst. Nobody would ever elect me. Right now, we have in this country, think about this, we have around 750 military bases around the world in 80 countries. 700, you do know they hate us, and I don't want them to hate us. They look at us and they look at us as though we sign off on it. Well, you can do something about it. You know, years ago when terrible things happened in Eastern Europe during World War II, people always blame me and say, well, why didn't you do something? How come those people sat back and let it happen? Look what we sit back and let happen. Look what we do. This is not the country I love. Well, excuse me. This is not the government I love. And this is what I love this man. Let me ask you, what do you love the most about Trump? Let me ask you a very, very simple thing. You got to give me one thing. Like I was asking, what do you like about Willie Nelson? I just like his voice. Hate his guitar, but love his voice. Don Imus yelled at me one time. I said, Willie Nelson is one of the worst guitar players. He doesn't even play guitar. I don't even know what that is. That thing he makes. Richie Havens is Django Reinhardt compared to this guy. In any event. But sometimes you want to find the essence of it. And the thing about Trump, which is very, very simple, is yes, he loves our country. Yes, he does. But I think a lot of people love our country. They wouldn't work. He's one of these people that, for reasons I don't understand, connects with people. It's the simplest thing I've ever seen in my life. He connects with people. One time, Mrs. Ellen and I were watching a Broadway play, or I don't know what, most probably a play. And as people walked out on the stage, every now and then someone would just pop out. You just notice this one person. And you don't know why. You don't know exactly, well, what about this one? Why are we looking at this one person? I don't know. There's a group of people walking across the room. Why are we looking at this person? Why do they stand out? We don't know. We don't know. We can't figure out why they're doing this. We don't know. Can't figure it out. It's this weird thing. And he was able to just connect in ways I never thought even remotely possible. It was incredible. Here's one thing for you. Again, I'm giving you a lot of analogies and metaphors, and please bear with me. It's my nature. When you have a party for kids and you don't know what to do, I don't know if they're 5 years old, whatever the age is. And you say, pizza and hot dogs. Got it. They'll love it. Not Chicago deep dish, but the pizza, cheese pizza, whatever it is. Give them a little, they'll love it. They'll love it. You don't have to tell them anything. You don't have to show them anything. It just works. I don't know why. Their palate, the sophistication of their, who knows? They love it. Hot dogs, they go crazy. Thank you. Got something else for you? Little Hawaiian punch. Remember when you were a kid? Hawaiian punch tasted great. It was like, this is great. Had to get a little mustache, purple mustache you got, and your tongue a bit. This is great. Popsicles, fantastic. Popcorn, love it. Brownies, I'm in heaven. You just know it. Why? I don't know. They go crazy. How about a nice quiche? No, thanks. Bacon? Maybe. Brownies? Love it. Ice cream? Love it. Pizza? Love it. Hot dogs? I'm in heaven. Hamburgers? Be careful. Be careful. Okay, that's Trump. It just connects. I don't know what it is. He comes out, if you listen to what he says, it may not be the most brilliant. It may not be the most eloquent. It may not be, I don't know. Sometimes he reads this, sometimes he speaks for hours. But when he walks out, people immediately say, I like that guy. He's here for me. He's here to talk to me. This really means something to him, and he cares enough. He's speaking to me. He's not up there. Kamala spoke 7 minutes. If she doesn't have anything to do with you. He loves connecting with you. And after he was, remember, there's technically thrice. There were 3 conspiracies, one could argue, to take his life. He continued. He continued. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen any. You think Bill Clinton was good? No, not Ronald Reagan. No. And here's a guy who flies in his jet. There was a picture of Melania with her Louis Vuitton luggage, the big, crate, not the crates, the, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, with Barron, and they're on a private plane. People love him. They love him. People are sitting there, they're waiting 2-3 days. Trunks is what I'm trying to say. 2 to 3 days to see him. Let me see if I can explain this to you. If you have any candidate anywhere in any country, well, let's stick with this one, where they show up 2 days in advance, he's going to win. I don't care where it is. Well, you don't understand. That was in Shutlersville. I don't care where it is. If he can get any person, any place, any human being to show up, there aren't that many. There's more Democrats than Republicans. I think that's no. This is a freak. This is a freak. It's like with the Beatles. What's so great about the Beatles? I don't know. I want to hold your hand. I want to hold your hand. I want to hold your hand. Okay. I got the point. And when you touch me, I can't hide. You touch your hand. This is the stupidest song in the world. They love him. I don't know why. They love him. Do you not understand this? They love him. It's like nothing you're ever going to see again. There is nobody. Tulsi Gabbard, maybe. Let me tell you something. Listen to, see if you think what I'm saying. And by the way, we're staying together all day today. So let me make sure you understand this. I'm going to go till I pass out, and we're going to come back. We're going to just keep doing this all day long because I want to be with you on this day. And it's better that we all stick together. I don't want to run these. Oh, this closing in. I'm sorry. I watch elections so differently. I don't. Yes, I understand they're broke on the states. Yes. Just kind of tell me how it's going, and let me see. I love the feel of this. And by the way, my friend, by the way, do you have your, tell me you have your I voted stickers or whatever it is. Make sure you take them. Always take extras. And then about, I don't know, 6 weeks or maybe 6 months from now, take them back out and put them back on your clothes and have them wonder, did he not wash that? Or is there an election today? It works like a charm. When we were a kid, remember when we were, my parents, when we were kids, they were maniacs. We would travel from Tampa to Canada in a 66 Chevy. No internet, no nothing, just looking out the window, and we didn't kill each other. Anyway, we stop at these little motels, Holiday Inn, this and that. And my mother taught me how to take, remember that piece of paper that would say sanitize for your protection? Remember that? It was just this piece of paper on the toilet. It meant nothing. They just put that on there. So she would take it off. Maybe she could cut it. And then when we were left, she put it back on again and taped it so that the woman comes in and says, did they leave this on? No. This is how demented you. This is why I'm the way I am. Well, that's kind of like with the sticker. I loved when the process of it, going to the polls, seeing the old ladies, just seeing the listen, you want to say votar aquí. That's it. In New York, you have 5 different versions of Sanskrit, dialects. You've got languages symbols you've never seen before. I love the process. I don't get mad at these people. You don't understand something. If I would say, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank one person today, Kamala Harris. If she had been 10% better, well, we would say, well, there's never been a moment. Think about this. Can you think of one moment where you ever heard her say something you said, that's pretty good? Never. If Gavin Newsom did, you would. Oh, yeah. Because he'd lie. He'd say, we have to do our best to secure the border and to lower crime. Wait a minute. I know I lied, but at least he would say something. She never did this. She never caught on. She basically told them, I'm not going to ever go on and say anything worthwhile. I'm going to say things like, I'm from the middle class. I'm going to change my accent. But I'm not into this because I really don't want it. And if I'll say, oh, well, I'll just blame the Republicans because I am it. Kamala has deals. How many deals does she have with like agents and her after this? After she loses, she'll be in Martha's Vineyard, and you know who's gonna, and she will know how to do it. And you know who's gonna hate her? Really bad. Who really hates her is Michelle. Mishkina. Fresh homemade crank style vanilla ice cream when I was a little boy. 70 years old now. Love you, Dad. Thank you forever. I love this fresh homemade crank style vanilla ice cream. Oh my God. That sounds wonderful. The stuff that you remember as a kid. Being from Florida in town, we had Krispy Kreme donuts. And there was one on Florida Avenue, one on Kennedy Boulevard. Yeah, Kennedy. Yeah. Oh, my father could see they would have the red light whenever the glazed donuts would come out. This red light, and he could see it. And we had like these cars with like a 30-to-1, steering, all chrome, like I don't know what we have, like an Impala, all these Chevys. He's doing like a bat turn. I don't even know if you can do it over the hump because that red light is on there. Krispy Kreme donuts, good for you? No, then that's okay. But let me go back to what I was saying. Kamala is going to be sitting, she is going to be on Vogue. She is going to say, listen, you want me to laugh? I'll laugh. I'll laugh. She said, yeah, she's lazy. Easy things. You know what? She could do, and you're going to laugh at this. She'd be great on TV. If she had a TV show like Oprah, she just laugh. Just laugh. Mrs. L's right. He goes, too much work for her. She's lazy. She really doesn't want to do something. She doesn't. Why they picked her, I don't know. I will never understand. These people work hard. Gavin Newsom, you can look whether you like him or not. The guy works. He's the governor of New York, of California. He knows what he's talking about. I've never seen Nancy Pelosi works. Hell, Jerry Nadler. Jerry Nadler runs rings around, and Jerry Nadler doesn't move. Jerry Nadler hasn't moved since the late 70s. He's like a weeble. Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. He's like a Oompa Loompa. He sits there and remember when they were doing all the taking the knee for George Floyd? Remember that? And Jerry Nadler said, I'm not going to take a knee. You can't never get back up again. He never. But anyway, he works harder. Robert Menendez works harder. Strom Thurmond works harder. Everybody works harder. But working harder than Trump? I'm telling you right now, I could not do what he did. I go in a plane and I go into a coma. Maybe because of the pressure or whatever. I can't do it. I hate traveling. I don't. You have no idea what travel. Getting on a plane to me is just, I hate planes. And he did it every time. And he never came out and said, hello, where are we again? Oh, yeah. You ever see one like rock band go, thank you, Cleveland. We're not in Cleveland. Whatever. He did it. And he read the prompters. And they tried to kill him. Let me ask you, have you ever felt prouder of being an American? Did Bill Clinton ever make you want to do this? Do you ever? Whenever you see a Guatemala rally or whatever they purport to be, there's no flags. There's no people. I mean, there's people, but nobody, there's no message. There's even no slogan like forward, progress. What do you mean forward? Here's the one. Numbnuts, don't say make progress. You're in charge. You were in charge. How are you telling people? To turn back the pages when you were on the pages? They didn't even know that. They don't know that. So let me just tell you something. Just listen to me and listen carefully. We have been through so much. And I'm going to tell you one thing. And I say this, if for some reason they try to pull she pulled it out here and there, if they try to hand it to her, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to say, okay, now that's enough. Even Axelrod, even Van Jones, even Jim Messina, even other people are saying, forget Philly. Do you remember in 2020? There was nothing like this. You never felt like this. Trump took it to Trump. I don't know if he didn't. This may be too superficial, but he took it a little too lightly. He didn't really understand it. You know what I mean? You remember that in 20? Plus there was the Rona and it was Hillary. And plus she was up 6 points, 12 points, 10 points. She had it. Absolutely guaranteed. New York Times says it was a lock. Remember this? Remember how they laughed at Ann Coulter? Where is Ann Coulter? What does she do? Where's Mark Cuban from now on? He is so doomed. He screwed things up. Biden knew what he was saying when he said all the trash, anything he can throw, because basically he was just unceremoniously thrown to the curb. In fact, we don't even know still who's in charge of anything. But the question I have, dear friends, is very simply this. How did this happen? How are we ever? Who's running the show? I don't know. I thought I thought that there were these tripwires. Like if God forbid, and I'm not saying this, but if God forbid something happened to President Biden, he is no longer with us, these people are likely to say, that's okay. We got it covered. No, there should be the succession. And don't worry about it. Nothing. Think about Biden's history. This is the part that's going to kill him. This is a guy who says, your legacy. You were Scranton Joe, Amtrak Joe. You were the hard scrabble. And I knew you were not. Wouldn't you love to sit there if you were sitting in a park at the beach at Rehoboth with Joe? You could say, I knew you were nuts with that corn pop stuff. Did you like that? What was that about? Remember those poor black kids who go, come in here, don't tell me we don't school. What? Who is this? They named this park in Wilmington, this pool, after him. It was named after somebody for a long time, and they named it after him. And we were, I will never forget, I was on as a guest the night of the election, or during the time, and I was in this other show, and I was saying, he is out of his mind. And they said, I don't know what they call me. I said, no. I said, have you heard a word that Joe said? Sicilian Boogeyman says, your hand farts more than Kamala ever has. Your hand farts, say more. Yes, they do. And do. In fact, Joe is doing them inadvertently. Our dear friend, Brad Rung says, people had enough Trump. Very excited. She'll win big and have a winner by 3 a.m. Joe never even went to her. Needed Big Barry. Oh, and by the way, Mr. Obama has absolutely, positively lost his feeling. But anyway, let me go back to this. So I'm sitting there next to Joe, and I'm saying, Joe, you got to help me out. These poor black kids, remember that? Come on, get up here. You're going to turn around. I'm not going to tell anybody here. He was like doing the slurring. Then I was like, what? Come on up here. I'll tell you, I'll be in school. I'll tell your teacher that you're here. Don't worry about it. True, is he? What? Who is this guy? I don't know. Get up here. I don't want to get up here. I want to go in the pool. Come on up here. I'll tell you what, there was a man who's a bad, it was Corn Pop. Corn Pop was a bad dude. Who is a bad dude? Corn Pop. Who the hell's Corn Pop? Corn Pop is a bad dude. He walked around here and I had yellow blonde hairs on my legs. And I'd be in the pool and sometimes people say, you want to pull my blonde hairs? Little girls looked and horror at me. You guys say, look at my blonde hairs. And they pulled my leg out. Well, they told me it wasn't my leg. I don't know, sometimes I'm not really sure it was. That was in my old days and I was feeling better. Anyway, that was before Jill. Anywho, so there it was, a blonde hair. And then of the Corn Pop, I said, hey, you better watch out. And he had chains. And they had switchblade to put in a tin can that was, and we used to sharpen it on the side of the pool. I said, hey, you better take that pomade off here. He had pomade in his hair. Hey, we're not talking Jerry Curl. We're talking pomade. We're talking Otis Day in the night. Hey, better take that pomade out of here. That's going to clog up the system. They told me to put the system with them. And remember these black kids go, who is this? And this is when he was great. And I was on a show and I said, are you listening? He's out of his mind. Freedom says, as soon as Trump walks out to speak, he resonates red, white, and blue. He makes us feel proud to be an American. He sure does me. He doesn't make others. Doesn't make others. I remember I was on a show one time with Curtis Lee. It used to be a show. I don't even know if it's on anymore. It was Errol Lewis or Errol Gardner. It was this morning show. It was on the local Time Warner. It was on with Curtis and New York One. Yeah. And I said, Hillary is walking around and is apparently exhibiting evidence of and indicia of and indications of some form of cerebral trauma by virtue of the fact that she's jerking her head back and going berserk. You do know that, right? I'm getting these emails from Team Booker. I'm getting all these weird phone numbers. Hi, I'm from the personnel division of whatever. I say, who are you? What do you need my number for? Oh, little trick, little hack. Not really a hack. But if you put your phone on do not answer unknown phone calls, it's great. All of a sudden they go straight to voicemail and you can listen to this. Because I'm getting calls from people that scam likely. It's some city called Scam Likely. I'm getting all these scams. But if you put it on this thing, it goes right there. Anyway. And I'm saying, do you not see Hillary Clinton? Do you not see this? And I asked friends of mine, neurologists, I say, she appears to be, in fact, the night she did the Angelo Bruno look, they didn't care about this. Remember the Secret Service guy who died? Remember that? Another one? He had the benzo pen where she got up and the mic was hot and you could hear him say, it's okay. It's okay. And she looked out like, where are you? Remember her head jerking back and forth? Remember the Fresnel lenses? You see, I've lived in a world where now people are finally saying, hey, look, they're spraying something. They're finally, if there is a God and God meets me one day, he'll say, you were good. You tried. Oh, I sure did. They just didn't listen to me until it was too late. I pointed out the obvious. They didn't want to hear it. They thought it was crazy. I know the feeling. I guess you would, yeah. I don't understand it. But now, no. Everything they wanted to say about Trump had already been said. Everything they wanted to say about Trump had already been said. Everything they wanted to say about him had already been said. Do you hear what I'm saying? There's nothing you can do. What are you going to say about him now? What? What are you going to say? What are you going to say about Trump now? What? The arrest? The things grab them, whatever. I was watching SNL. They're doing old. We've been through these before. There's nothing new. I want to talk about Peanut. I want to talk about cats and dogs in Springfield, Ohio. I want to talk about your things. I want to talk about the garbage. I want to talk about the McDonald's. I want to talk about how you basically, but we're done with that. Even the jokes, Saturday Night Live couldn't even use the jokes. My friends, hold on 1 minute for our final word from these great, great people. You know, right now, what Trump is so critical about, well, is there are people who are so absolutely hurting financially. They are not bad people. They've done nothing wrong. They're over their head. They've leveraged themselves. They're good people trying to make ends meet with kids. They get overextended. Credit card rates are through the roof. They don't know what to do. They're freaking out. They don't want to go into bankruptcy or anything like that. They need help. They need help. Well, you know what? There is help. Listen to this. New reports reveal that the average person has $8,674 in credit card debt. Plus, the total average consumer debt is a shocking $104,215 between mortgages, auto loans, student loans, credit cards, and unsecured loans. Unfortunately, without outside assistance, many will continue digging themselves deeper and deeper into the hole of debt. Now, I've advised and counseled friends and clients for years who want to take back control of individual debt about this secret weapon that has helped so many consolidate everything owed into one affordable monthly payment. They even helped negotiate a settlement agreement that will allow you to pay less than the total balance. Listen, they settled over $275 million in debt, and they've helped people become debt-free in an average of 28 months. I've had such an incredible experience referring clients and friends that I wanted to partner with them here and introduce their services to you, my loyal Lionel Nation family. If you want a helping hand to get out of debt, I absolutely, positively, and strenuously recommend booking a free consultation now by going to nodebtwithlionel.com. Look at the address. Once again, that's nodebtwithlionel.com. Use the link I've provided under the title. Listen to me. You can take control and learn how to get out of debt now. Just now, Mrs. L was telling me that J.D. Vance was voting and people love him and kids. Let's talk about winners and losers. Winners and losers. Number one, Elon Musk. Elon Musk I liked. Elon Musk was okay. I thought Elon Musk, it's okay. Now I love the man beyond anything you can imagine. I love the man. He is incredible. The man. I've never seen. First he bought X, Twitter, whatever the hell it's called. Then he decided, I'm going to fight the notion, the absolute notion of internet censorship. He blew him. He just did it. And then he became cool. And see, that's the thing. Ladies and gentlemen, I try so hard to explain. Listen to me. When you make something cool, when you make it, as we used to say, hep. We never said that, but they said in the 20s and the 23 skidoo. You change everything. When people said it's okay now to deface your system and your skin and your dermal real estate with tattoos because it's cool. Oh, it's cool? It's cool. Okay. You say it's cool? Oh, absolutely. All right. Okay. Well, fine. I'll do it then. And then when all of a sudden Elon Musk said, it's cool. And then Joe Rogan came along and Joe, again, I wish Joe, I love you. I love Joe. I wish you a little earlier, but that's okay. I'll take it. Dana White loves Trump. Black stars, I've never, and you know that these black folks, these artists and the like, were told by their people, you are committing suicide if you do this. And they said, I don't care. I don't care what you say. I'm going to do this anyway. And then all of a sudden, there it came. Now, a while back, you don't remember this, but let me see if I can explain this to you. A while back, there was this fellow named Cat Williams, one of my personal heroes. Cat Williams changed everything. His Club Shay Shay interview was still one for the record books. It was incredible. Arizona says 2016 was my awakening that the news and media flat out lied to their viewers. Oh, but you know what? Some did. Some news. Oh, no, the news here. Oh, the news. Oh, no. This is different. See, that's another thing too. The news is dead. They had a picture of that Fredo Cuomo, who I despise. Anybody who uses fake weights. I'm sorry. That's 100-pound tricep extension. Yeah. Okay, sure. Yeah, I'm buying this. Okay, yeah, right. Sure, I'm digging that. In any event, it changed. I want to see Rudy Giuliani be the next mayor of New York. I know it sounds great. We would love him. We need somebody who's crazy, who goes in there and says, because he loves this. We changed this. All of a sudden, you know who I love? The woman in New Hampshire? What's her name? Lucy for whatever. I think her Lucy. I love her. All of a sudden, people came out of nowhere. So there was Joe Rogan. There was this group, this more and more people coming forward. And then when Joe Biden called them trash, it was the most incredible thing in the world. The thing I'm trying to tell you, dear friends, is that the MAGA movement is something that's going to keep going on forever. It should be a party. I will be, if you can come up with a platform, I will be a member of MAGA. I am not going to be a member of the Republican Party. Sparky says, MEK stooge, Rudy Giuliani lied about Reagan, saying we should always have Israel's back. In fact, Reagan figuratively told Israel to go F itself in a major way during his presidency. You know, you're right about that. but I want him to be mayor of New York. You see, Sparky, I don't care about that. I don't care about that. I don't care. I don't care. You're right. And what he did was terrible. And to have Rudy as some kind of a no. But for him to clear up Roosevelt Boulevard and these open air brothels, that's the guy. When there's a problem with potholes or lights, that's the guy. Oh, I'm not going to put him in the UN or no. Absolutely not. But he does. He's one of the best. I need somebody to clean up this city, to fix the schools. Remember Rudy Crew and the school chancellors? He was a slugfest. He had some of the best people. Randy Mastro, Randy Levine. Oh my God, he went through the list. It was like a who's who. His police department was the best with Bill Bratton and John Timoney and Jack Maple and Lou Anemone. I mean, he had the best. He was the best mayor there is. And Sparky, you're right about this. I thank you for this. And I appreciate this. But you have to ask yourself the question. Are we forever going to disqualify somebody? And by the way, I'm getting messages. Could you define this abbreviation of sorts that you use on a regular basis? You might want to, perhaps you can use your Doog words. When you want to pick somebody who is the chief of police, when you want to pick somebody who's in charge of sanitation, do you care what they feel about Trudeau? Do you care what they feel about the World Economic Forum? Do you care what? Unless, of course, they somehow were to contaminate it. No. Are you going to go Rudy heading the FBI? No. Let's don't get carried away. But being the mayor of New York, oh yeah, absolutely. He was so great. He was the first, he was so wonderful. This guy was, we had the biggest problem was panhandlers. Well, actually squeegee men. Squeegee men were the worst. They were the worst. Squeegee men were the worst. You would come out of the Lincoln Tunnel, and there they were with this thing, and they would scare you, and they come up to your car, and you say, no, don't. And they would smear the windows or bend your windshield wipers, and you would just give them money. Please. And was he perfect on 9/11? Are you kidding me? Do you think he's come clean about 9/11? Are you kidding me? Do you want to get rid of the good in search of the perfect? No. How about when he said, remember, he referred to a particular building, he said, it's going to fall. And he said, how do you know that, Rudy? Do you want to go through that? Do you want to play? Okay, sorry, can't do that. Let me get somebody else who can come along, who doesn't have a particular policy on Israel, or who does not have a particular policy on the past, or somebody who, let's get him. Maybe not as good. Maybe who doesn't take this idea about going in and kicking art to scaring the hell out of criminals. Maybe. And I think this is what Trump is going to do. Trump understands how this thing works. So I know sometimes we like to show sometimes how I don't particularly like it because, well, after all, there was that. He was going to associate it with BlackRock. It's like, oh, are we going to do this again? Well, I just want you to know that I knew about BlackRock. What does it have to do about this? Well, nothing really, but I just want you to know. Look, we can't do this. Look, how do we explain this to you? We are in dire shape here, my friends. We are really in need of something drastic Drastic. And I've got news for you. When you want to come here, if you can tell me somebody better who can clean up these cartels and these people running around here, tell me somebody. Tell me somebody who doesn't mind going to Albany and telling the governor to pound sand. And now they want, here's one for you. They want Andrew Cuomo. Anybody want Andrew Cuomo? Let me ask you something. If you were in my position, if you were here in New York City and you had the choice to vote for Rudy Giuliani or Andrew Cuomo, Salazzo, Fredo's brother, whom would you vote for? Be honest. Whom would you select? Who would be your say? Cuomo is the worst. They are vile. He killed, I don't know how many elderly people when he took people who were, shall we say, infected with certain things and threw them into nursing homes. This is a guy who I despise him. It all started with that bilious, this bombastic father of theirs who thought he was the master of eloquence. He was such a genius. Oh, Mario Cuomo. Remember what Bob Grant would go, Mario, ascendame. I don't think you understand how this thing works. Let me explain a couple of things to you also, my dear friends, because I think you're very smart. I think you mind like a little thing called history. Years ago, there were these people that found themselves able to do things in the military that were different from other events. What do I mean? Well, let's go no further than our good friend U.S. Grant. Actual his name was Hiram, but Ulysses S. Grant in any event. So he was one of the greatest generals of all time. He was the one that, unless you were siding with the other particular side, in the war between the states, Lincoln says something to the effect of, they said, well, he's got a drinking problem. He said, well, find out what he's drinking and send a case to all of my generals. Remember this? Okay. Well, he didn't really fit in. He was a failure his entire life, except when it came for this. He was a genius on the battlefield. George Patton, absolute reprobate, filthy rich, married rich women, was incredible. Used to be a horseman and completely changed the way using tank warfare, cavalry. Actually, in the old days, tanks would just sit there and just wait. He moved. What was it? The Third Army, 9th, 8th, or whatever it was. He was just innovative. Got into trouble, said stupid things, slapped the soldier, said some just horrible, hated Monty. In fact, he was the one who appointed Eisenhower at first. Later on, he was incredible. Curtis LeMay, absolutely said, why don't we take use bombers as dive bomber? I mean, he was innovative. People that just, Winston Churchill, who, by the way, is this story about how much he meant to us in the world, perfide Albion. When it came to military, he thrived. Great generals love battle. He talked about how he came alive during battle. Washington, too. George Washington. He talked about the bullets going by. They love this stuff. So when you understand what a job entails, a person may possess behavior patterns that get him into trouble usually, except for this. As Sparky says, I get your point and agree with it, but Giuliani lied recently to give credibility to a genocide, so it's worth pointing out. Oh, absolutely. Sparky, you and I know that there are people who are going to tell you, I am not going to do anything to incur the wrath of the Israeli lobby. I'm not going to do it. You know that, right? You know that. There are people who say, I couldn't care less, but I'm getting a boatload of money and I'm going to say whatever they want. I don't care. And if you want me to go and say that criticizing Israel is anti-Semitic, which is stupid, I'll do it. Elise Stefanik absolutely sold her brain, soul. Okay. Am I going to disqualify her for the rest of her life because of this? No. I balance things out. I balance things out. First things first. We'll get to that later. This is a different story. I never, ever get to a point where I am unable. Let me ask you something. If I come to you and I say, listen, we got a chance. Let's say all of you great people are my advisor. And I said, we got a good chance of working with Bill Gates. Bill Gates is going to do some good things for this country. Here's what he's proposing. It makes sense. We're going to do. He's not doing anything else. Could you put aside all the crap he's done if he assists President Trump in doing something that we agree with? Yes or no? I'll save you the trouble. Yes. Yes. Robert Moses said, if the ends doesn't justify the means, then what does? A good friend Sparky says, wasn't it great when generals pointed out to Lincoln that Grant was a drunk and Lincoln responded, yes, that's what I said. Ask what the brand he drank so we can get a case to all his generals. That's exactly what I said. It was incredible. Lincoln was another one too. And Sparky, you know this idea, this myth of Lincoln. Did you ever hear what he said about black people? It was horrible. Absolutely horrible. He didn't care anything about slavery. He wanted to maintain the Union. That's it. That's all he said. That's what he did. You know it and I know it. Don't forget what Tolstoy said. History would be a wonderful thing if only it were true. And what history? From whose perspective? Who? Tell me the story of the Middle East, Sparky, from Israel's perspective, or from the West Bank, or from Palestinians, or from Arafat, or Abu Mazen, or the PA, or tell me whose perspective. Tell me the Middle East vis-a-vis Erdogan. By the way, Turkey is this incredible. See, we know nothing about these people, and you know why? And this is why Trump, we need him because he gets along. We look at him and we think they're like primitive. Look at that hat he's wearing. Look at these people. They squat when they eat, and they eat with sticks. People, they're not as smart as we are. Oh, really? Really? Let me ask you something, Sparky. You know a little bit about, you do not want to go against the Turkish army. You do not want to go against the Turkish. Do you think the American army right now, that we are the same battle-hardened group that we were the same army during World War II? Of course not. With all of the lessening of standards, do you think, and to talk about plain old infantries and actual battles, not artillery and that sort of thing. Do you think so? I hope so. I don't think so. You want to go up against Turkey? You want to actual hand-to-hand? You want to do that? See, one of the things about, and this is something you're going to be finding out too, maybe not now, but we'll talk about this later. One of the biggest myths that's been perpetrated, is this idea that Israel has this profound, this army second to none, and their intelligence are the greatest. Okay. Well, you have to explain October the 7th. And if they're the best in the world, then that was a lie hop. They had to let it happen on purpose. If not, they're not as good as you think. So if you listen to other people speak, it's a whole different perspective. Sparky says racism, slavery, bigotry, and prejudice have been conflated as words for years. Yes. See, what I want to do is I want to teach people critical thinking. Critical thinking. And that's something which is so difficult to explain. How do you pull out? How do you remove your ability to think? What I try to do, I've always been able to, I've been trying my best to do this my whole life, is that when I'm confronted with an issue, I do everything in my power to make sure I really understand it in toto. But most importantly, and I remember interviewing Robert McNamara, I have to do it from an empathic point of view. I have to understand the way you see it. If you're trying a case, if you're doing a closing argument, if you're trying to return something to wherever, I don't care. See it from their point of view. Don't like them. Don't love them. Don't you don't have to enjoy them. Just understand what it is that they're saying and that they're thinking. And also remember a little bit about history. History, again, would be a wonderful thing if only were true, but history was also written by the winners. And history, as Napoleon said, history is a myth that men agree to believe. It's that simple. It's this thing that we believe, that we want to believe. It's this, oh, hang on. Oh, it's this idea. Oh, putting up a Mrs. L piece on your internets. There we go. By the You've got to see this interview with Frank Tarantino from the DEA. You know, when I was a kid in the old days, people used to use the word narcs. He's a narc. He's a what? He's a narc. A narc. Yeah, that's a Rochester voice. He's a narc. Saber Trentoy says, one nation under Lionel, indivisible. Indeed. But he's talking about Mrs. Ellen here. You got to go to Lynn's Warriors. China. China. If you sent me to China, I would love to sit across from Xi Jinping and say, listen, I'm a gentleman, you're a gentleman, but understand, I know what you're doing. Mearsheimer is my hero. Realism. It's empathy, but it's also understanding what is it that you want? What is it that you want? What are you getting at? What's your goal? And also remember, critical thinking, IRAC, IRAC, issue, rule, analysis, conclusion. What are we talking about? What are the facts? Let's analyze it and conclude. All right, dear friends, what a morning. Get ready for this. Listen, I don't know when we're going to do this. You better make sure you're subscribed to Lionel Nation. Tell your friends about it too. You want to look at the please enjoy yourself. I'll spend some time. Well, the numbers are coming in North Carolina. The Hispanic women with mustaches named Garcia are coming out, and the people who are in people and the black soccer mothers who drive station wagons, they are underrepresented by virtue of those individuals who are the college degreed laborers who are left-handed. And we're going to spend all day long somebody trying to explain their entire version of this. Sparky says U.S. military industry hasn't been ready for a significant peer-to-peer war for years, even though we spend trillions on it. F-35 Lightning II fighter plane should be called the F-35 Boondoggle. You know, it's also, Sparky, interesting that somebody was talking about Israeli armies, and they said, you got to understand something. These are people who are, yes, there's mandatory service, but it's through conscription. And they do not, who was it? It was McGregor was saying they can't compete with Turkey. Turkey's badass. This is a different story. Remember, why are people fighting? Let me also tell you something which is important, which I think you already knew this. Whenever you want to talk about war, and I think Trump knows this, it's about geography, it's about weather, it's about the people, and do they have a fight in it? He better be careful regarding that Bab el Mandeb, the gate of tears, this choke point up to the Red Sea. Oh my God. The Strait of Hormuz. Get a map, go online. That's where I'd go. The Houthis are like this with the Palestinians, and they're just ready for, we'll send drones. We will choke this off. You will not get any ship, and your gas will be $20 per gallon. Think I'm kidding? Think I'm lying? You send me to Washington. First of all, it'll be a ghost town. it'll be a ghost town. I mean to tell you, you would go to lunch, you say, where'd everybody go? People walking around. You have not lived. If you want to see your dollars worth, walk up and down the halls of Congress. Go to, just look at these people. Oh my God. Go to any department of, all in this, I don't know what they're called. It's truly a deep state. It's something which is just shut it down. All right, enough of that. You feeling good? I'm feeling ready. Sparky, you were phenomenal. Sabertron, thank you. Arizona, Freedom, Brad Rung, Sicilian Boogeyman, Big John, Big Bad John, Kim Griffith, thank you. Ryan, Crypto Domini, Howie Brown, you've got a lovely daughter. Jim Robertson, thank you. Evan, Freedom, Raul Rodriguez, JTE, Carla, the cooking CEO, thank you. And thank you. All right, dear friends, tonight we are going to be, remember, I might just pull up. I'm wired today. I'm wired. I'm so excited. We're going to be on tonight. Mrs. L will be my guest. Look at this. Go on, Sir Allah. Fight the power. You know, they will. They will. The problem is, don't demonize people. Understand them. All right, dear friends. Remember, thank you. Trump is going to win. This is a glorious day. Remember the 5th of November. We'll see you later. 7 o'clock for sure. But don't be surprised if during the day we say, you know what, let's just start early. And I don't know how long I'll go. I'm just going to spend some time reading and bringing you up to speed. But most importantly, I want to be there with you on this day. And I want you to be with all of us because we've been through this since day one. Okay? You got it? All right. And also go right now to Lynn's Warriors. Check out the interview that she did with this Frank Tarantino from the DEA about pink cocaine, about fentanyl and drugs that are designed to do nothing but to kill. Okay? It's not about getting high. It's about getting dead. All right, dear friends, have a great and glorious day. See you later. Remember, stay tuned. Stay subscribed. Lionel Nation and Lionel Legal while you're at it. All right? Okay. The monkey's dead. Show's over. Sue ya all day today.